Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rhodey and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
G'day and welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast. Dizzy, good to be here.
Rhodey, good to be here with you, mate. We've got a big episode this week.
We do, Diz. We've got a very good guest, Paul from Captain Boat Safety. We saw him at the boat show.
Yeah, it's It's a great idea and certainly something that's worthwhile discussing, particularly before people start sort of blowing the cobwebs off their boats and these sorts of things. Maybe they haven't looked at their safety gear for a while, and so we won't ruin too much of the surprise, but we're going to have a chat with Paul later on today, and we look forward to that.
Yeah, Diz, we're definitely looking forward to a great chat with Paul. But first off, let's get in the oranges and lemons, if I can get that out correctly.
Yes, of course, our regular segment we start off with on the shows, Rhodey. I'll start us with a bit of an interesting orange. Not gonna lie, I'm not super proud of this one, but maybe I shouldn't have said that if anybody from work's listening. We've got our work Christmas show coming up this weekend.
Oh, that's exciting.
Oh yeah. Can't wait. A couple of frothies with the work colleagues. Going to be a good one. Hopefully no COVID is spread around. Not quite sure how I'm going to relate that back to fishing, but it's an orange nonetheless.
Are you putting as manager of the store, are you putting a universal ban on rat testing the following week after the Christmas show?
Yeah, look, we've talked through those logistics and we've certainly made some updates to our HR policies that do very much involve no testing arrangements.
All right, well, that was a flop of an orange anyway, Diz.
Well, yeah, save us here, Rhodey. Save us.
My orange is we're off to KI on Saturday for 8 nights, so that's getting me excited.
Very jealous.
Heading over, staying on a little property that we've stayed at a number of times near Stokes Bay, right on the water, so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, very good indeed. And roll us into your lemon, mate.
Well, Diz, my lemon's going to be, did you know the cricket starts tomorrow?
Ooh.
Test match versus the West Indies. You remember when the test match, first test of the summer, was talked up for weeks? You wouldn't know it's on tomorrow.
You get the wide world of sports was all over it. There was highlights from years gone by, bygone eras.
They'd be discussing who's in and out of the team. I've not heard a whisper.
Nah, yeah, I do. I'm hearing you on that. I think Cricket Australia and Test cricket is. I mean, look, it's not a big series by usual standard. It's not the Ashes. It's not a big country like India. And I'm certainly not going to just throw shade on the West Indies, but it's not a massive fixture, is it?
No, it's also not that fishing related, Diz, so we won't sort of hold on for too long.
Yeah. All the Give It No Idea cricket podcast. Okay, moving right along. Well, my lemon is going to be that I'm not going to be able to go to KI for the full week. I've been a very regular contributor and attendee to the KI fishing trips and weeks away, and they've always been an absolute highlight in the calendar, but not going to be able to make the full week work this year, unfortunately. But I'll be certainly pushing a real strong campaign to get over there for three and a half days towards the end of the week.
Yeah, look, mate.
Real kind of me to come and help with the pack up, though, I would have thought.
We might have caught all the fish by then, though. It's probably the downside.
I doubt it very much.
That will be good, Diz. We'll be happy to have you for the cleanup.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
All right, Diz, just quickly to touch on the merch. Christmas is coming. What do you need for your old man, for your mate, for your brother, for your sister?
Well, I have never in my life come across better stocking fillers than a beanie.
I was thinking a cap. More of a summer thing, but
I don't care. Just fill it up with merch.
Anyway, get on it.
Fill it up.
Hit us
merch.
up. We'll get them out to you ASAP.
Yeah, we'll get them out quick, smart. Don't worry about that.
Haven't reminded everyone of the headwear in a couple of weeks, couple of editions. So I thought we'd go back there.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you got to keep your top lid in good nick. I mean, it's hard for you covering up all that skin.
Yeah, it's not good. not a good gag. But anyway, we'll keep moving, Diz. Let's get in the news, mate.
Yeah, we'll kick us off, Rody. I know this one's been sort of doing the rounds on the socials, new channel markers down at Victor. I would say very well overdue.
Oh, well, they were stuffed last summer.
Yeah.
And they've only had 10 months since the last tuna season to fix them. God knows why they're doing it now. The tuna will probably rock up the day they start fixing them.
Yeah, nobody will be able to get out. There'll be disruptions at the ramp. There'll be chaos.
Oh, so they're putting in 12 new channel markers according to the City of Victor Harbour at the Bluff boat ramp. The existing channel markers have obviously been subject to ongoing damage and need to be replaced. We certainly agree with that. We're probably not a big fan of the timing of the works. Works will commence Monday, 28th of November and expected to take up to 3 weeks. If the tuna aren't there in that 3 weeks, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say relatively or possibly a late start to the season, just given that there's been a bit cold.
Yeah, we'll touch on this in the fishing report, Diz. Don't spoil it.
Yeah, I won't spoil it, but I definitely agree that it's horrible timing and planning.
And we should mention the boat ramp will remain open, but it does say here delays are expected and plan ahead and allow extra time when using the boat ramp and channel. So if they get a 35-degree Saturday with flat weather, it's going to be absolute mayhem.
Well, 3 weeks from now comfortably goes into when most businesses would close down for Christmas.
And generally when the tuna are around.
Yeah, and so most people are going to be off. They're going to be ready to get out. Like you say, if the tuna are going, then everyone's going to be down there and it'll be bedlam. They'll have to put it off. They just will. It'll
be interesting, Diz, so keep an eye on that one, what happens.
Yes, very good, Rody. So we've got some other news items this week. One piece of news that has been just absolutely flooding the media, and I use that term not disrespectingly, but there have been obviously a huge amount of talk about the floods across the country.
Yeah.
But South Australia in particular now, I suppose, are preparing for, what is going to be a significant flood and do a lot of damage to a lot of towns. And so as such, Rhodey, there's been some new rules imposed by the government in regards to aquatic and boating activities along the River Murray entirely.
And this is smart, Diz. Absolutely no doubt about it. So this is from SA Infrastructure and Transport. All vessels and any other watercraft on the River Murray are restricted to a maximum speed of 4 knots when operating within 250 metres of any partially or wholly submerged dwelling or building, or within 250 metres of any submerged or partially submerged levee bank, and also at night. And it does go on to say jet skis are restricted to a maximum speed of 4 knots at all times on any part of the river. And river users are not permitted to swim, bathe or dive within 250 metres of a lock or weir. Canoes, kayaks, surf skis, rowboats or other human-powered vessels or aquatic toys are also not permitted within 250 metres of a lock or weir.
Yeah, so let's just talk through that again. A lot of summer plans for people would be down at their river shack, down at their mate's shack, whatever it might be, taking the jet ski down to the river for the day. Most of those things have been cancelled.
So don't bother taking the jet ski because there's no point having one of them under 4 knots.
No, that's exactly right. But I certainly agree. These are sensible rules. I imagine a very large majority, if not all, insurance companies would have cancelled their policies.
Yeah, certainly boats. On ski boats and all that, I think it's pretty
ski boats,
pretty fair.
Jet skis, that sort of thing. So basically we're saying take your jet skis down to West Beach or do something like that.
And the only reason really why you'd have a boat within 250 metres of anything anyway is to get in and, suss out the damage or get gear out or whatever else. You're not going to be hooning around flooded houses.
No, that's
so exactly. It's pretty much common sense, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the stuff about the weirs and the lock, obviously so much water flow, you wouldn't want to get too close to them anyway.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. That'd be dangerous for sure. Righto, Rhodey. So message is, take care, heed the advice of the government with the new boating rules, and if you are on the water for whatever particular reason on the Murray River, take care.
Yes, Diz. All right, let's keep moving. This was a local metropolitan beach. Bit of news here, Diz. What is it?
Pilchard Kill.
It was interesting, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was amazing. Lots of photos and doing the rounds on the social media, obviously. just a massive school of pilchards.
And there was a lot of them, wasn't there?
Yeah, huge amount. Dead on the beach at Semaphore. A current investigation being taken. Is that
Yeah, and I saw this on Channel 7 actually, Diz, and it's a quote here from Purser saying staff observed murky water and measured very low dissolved oxygen levels, approx 30%, and high water temperature in the shallows. So basically they're saying, this is a quote, indications are the likely cause of death being a school of fish becoming trapped in a large gutter during a very low tide on a hot day, leading to very low oxygen levels and high water temperature. So it says here that they're beyond the physiological tolerance for Australian anchovies. So it's basically they got too hot.
Oh.
And you do see those gutters on metropolitan beaches, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Just those. You generally see them on sort of those long flat beaches, don't you?
Yeah, and it says here the department said staff were unable to take samples of the fish because members of the public did not report the fish kill. That seems weird to me because it was pretty big news.
I was going to say, I feel like it was doing the rounds pretty strongly.
Look, that's just a quote, Diz, but it says, as a result, by the time staff attended the area, the tide had risen and carcasses were not observed, so fresh samples were not able to be collected for a laboratory analysis.
Yeah, not sure about that.
I reckon a couple of blokes had a bit of ARL booked on that day. Bit of annual leave.
Yeah, probably. They was just, I'm busy. They were probably out in the water.
I suppose a good thing is it's nothing more sinister than fish getting trapped in shallow water. You know, no involvement. They're not blaming the fishos this time.
That is a positive, but, you know, fish have been swimming for quite a few years.
You see the whales do this.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, look, I don't know. I'm not going to throw out anything too controversial.
Certainly sounds like you want to.
All right, let's move on because there's some ramp closures / issues that we should be talking about. We've already touched on one that we're, I guess, anticipating, which is the channel markers at Victor may be causing some ramp issues, but Point Turton boat ramp has temporary closure, Rhodey?
Yeah, they're doing some work, so they Diz?
Just announced today, so
hot off the press.
Yeah, really quite hot off the press, mate. There's been an announcement via the Yorke Peninsula Council. They're basically going to do some concreting of the groin and some earthworks from Thursday. So just a temporary closure.
Do we have any time frame on that? Is that going to be a ruined Christmas sort of job or?
Nah, well, they're just basically saying at this stage as soon as possible.
Okay. You wouldn't have thought fixing a bit of concrete on a groin takes a whole month.
Well, you certainly wouldn't have thought so. But they're hoping that it'll just improve access and make things a bit better for the pedestrians and the likes.
And again, we're all for fixing boat ramps, maintaining boat ramps, fixing channel markers, but don't do it over Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know what they've been doing all winter.
Christmas holidays, summer, winter holidays.
Yeah.
Anyway,
seems weird. Like I would have thought, out of most industries, and this is not having a jibe at it, but construction, generally speaking, December and January are right off.
Yeah, agreed.
So why are we doing all of this now?
Ugh. You're preaching to the converted here, mate.
Oh, goodness
What
me.
about Point Hughes? What's going on there?
Well, Port Hughes is less ramp closures, more so just, again, a huge amount of build-up and lots of people having difficulty getting their boats out, especially at low tide. There was a lot of chat across the social media pages about people needing to walk their boats out to deeper water and a few other bits and pieces, lots of boats getting caught, etc., etc. Not a good time of year for that again
that'll
to
cause
happen.
Some mayhem over Christmas, New
Port
Year's.
Hughes is a very busy ramp, a lovely part of the world down there, very frequented by holiday goers. So you can't help but think that's going to put pressure on other ramps that'll be nearby. You know, I'm thinking Wallaroo, that type of thing.
Yeah, let's just hope this one gets sorted quick.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I don't know. We haven't launched at Port Hughes.
Oh, not in a long time.
So, you know, certainly not speaking from experience, more so just reporting on a bit of news that's come across our desk, Rhodey.
All right, Diz, that was a short, but it wasn't a short, that was a reasonable news segment.
No, I thought it was good. There's some good highlights in there.
Bit of a crack at several different sort of government authorities, but apart from that, we're stayed in the good books.
Too controversial, I don't think so. We missed our opportunity just while we're talking about government officials. We were both having a coffee the other day at the local, and big pistol Pete Malinauskas came across.
Yeah, if he didn't have a bloody crowd of thousands talking about traffic issues and every other piece of rubbish, we would have hit him up about the snapper ban.
Gosh, I was just ready to sort of get on the table and sort of start yelling, stop talking about rubbish and tell us whether the snapper closure's ending.
We don't actually care about how busy the roundabout outside your house is, champ.
I know.
And there was a queue of them.
Oh, there was. We're going to put speed humps in here and that's not a suitable solution. I'm like, shut up.
We were just sitting there waiting for it to die down and it never did.
I know. Anyway, good news segment, Rhodey. Now, of course, we alluded to this at the start of the episode. We're very much looking forward to having a chat with Paul from Captain Boat Safety. Let's get him on the line. Okay, Rhodey, excellent to have Paul on the line here from Captain Boat Safety. Paul, thanks for coming on the show.
How you going, guys? Good to be here.
Yes, Paul, it's going to be a great chat and we're looking forward to chatting all things boating safety and about this business you've put together. But first off, we're going to get into our 5 questions. Let's start by you telling us about your best fish.
Best fish, I'm sorry to say, wasn't in South Australia. I lived in Canberra for a while and Montague Island kingfish was probably my best fish.
What size are we talking?
It was 112 centimetres.
That's good going.
Oh, that's a good fish.
So I thought that for me that was a pretty good fish. And, big part of most of the fun though was actually seeing the guys on the boat how they use cat food to attract little, I think they're called yellowtail over there on the slimy mackerel as liveys.
Oh wow!
Amazing how those fish love a bit of cat food.
I suppose it's probably tuna in it. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that was my best fish. Amazing fun over there.
I bet that pulled some string.
It did, and I tell you what was the worst part though was actually getting out there. So we launched at a place called Bateman's Bay, and there's this big thing called we don't really have them here in South Australia, but it was a bar.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people would know about them, and gee, that was scary. You had to time it. You had to wait on the inside.
Yeah.
And you've got to time it to wait for the waves to die down before you can quickly duck out there. So
they get a lot of them on the East Coast, don't they? But it's a bit of a foreign thing for us here in SA.
Yeah, and I think it is, and I think at that particular bar, I think one person on average is dying every year at that bar. So it's probably appropriate that I'm someone who's pretty keen and pretty passionate about boat safety.
We will touch on how you got into boat safety, but we've probably got a fair idea after that.
Paul, tell us your favourite thing about fishing.
Well, my favourite thing about fishing isn't even if I'm catching or not. It's just that I just relax. So the thing I love about going fishing is being on the boat and not thinking about life outside of fishing for however long I'm on the boat. It's just I find it so relaxing and I just love it. It's my relaxation, guys.
Oh, we could almost just run that out for every guest. Everyone says something along those lines. It's never about how many fish people catch, is it?
It's really not. I mean, I love boating and fishing. I obviously love eating fish, but I mean that's the one thing I do love is just catching what I eat. But it's really it's not always about how many fish I catch.
Yeah, that's it, Paul. Now tell us about your first fishing memory or what got you into it.
First fishing memory was the Moonta Bay jetty.
Yep.
So when we were kids. We used to go fishing. My brother and I were just love fishing. My dad had no idea about fishing, and we used to go there all the time. And there was this old Italian bloke called Mario. He had about 4,000 squid lines out, and we'd just go and have a look and see what this guy was doing. And he's always had a bucket of squid. And so that was my first experience was asking this guy how to do it, and he showed me how to do it. And the next day, my brother and I went and convinced our dad to get a little hand line, and we started catching squid on the Moonta Bay jetty when I must have been 8 or 9. And Dad used to let us go on our own for most of the night at the Moonta Bay jetty. That was a time long ago when probably felt a bit safer and. Just loved being on the Moonta Bay jetty when I was a kid, and that was it. Addicted ever since.
Oh, there's nothing like walking down jetties and checking out other people's catch, and there's always a an old sort of salty sea dog somewhere there can give
Yeah,
me a
mate,
theory. That sounds like Mario.
He was famous. Like everyone knew Mario. He's like, there's no chance we're going to get a spot on the jetty because Mario's in.
Good, Paul. Tell us your favourite sort of fishing and why.
I've got to say, tuna fishing. I do love tuna fishing. I just love the nature of it. So when I probably chase them 10, 15 Ks offshore, and I don't go any further than that. But just being kind of in the middle of nowhere and just seeing all this nature, you've got these beautiful birds diving. You feel like you're in, one of those David Attenborough documentaries.
Yeah,
and just seeing, how like the pilchards are coming up and the birds diving, the dolphins going, and then when you see a tuna jump out of the water, oh my God, it's the most exciting thing. Tuna fishing, I love it, guys. And particularly on light gear, love it on light gear.
Yeah, it's certainly exciting, and we're very blessed in South Australia to have such a good fishery so close to Adelaide, aren't we?
I mean, a couple of times we were getting him 400 metres off the bluff.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
And you do go to some other places that are supposedly famous for their fishing, and you spend bloody hour and a half getting out there.
Well, yeah, I've got a few mates of mine who have been in charters and have been in Hawaii chasing tuna, all these places, and never caught a tuna.
Yep.
And a mate of mine is like, can you take me out? I said, yeah, I'll catch you tuna. Within 15 minutes of leaving the bluff, he caught a tuna and he was speechless. It is an amazing fishery, and that's why I hope and I'm sure you're the same, that we all look after it.
Yeah, exactly right, Paul. Now tell us a funny fishing story or the one that got away.
Funniest fishing story. I mean, it wasn't really a one that got away. My brother and I was trying to remember where we were, but we were on this little tinny, like we hadn't really done much boating. We must have been 14 or 15. And we were in the middle of this little channel. I think it was somewhere near Port Pirie. And we thought, we'll anchor up and we'll, have a bit of a fish and catch a few tommies and a few squid. Caught a few tommies and a few squid, and then we wanted to leave. And we're standing on this. It was this tiny tinny, and we go to pull up the anchor, and it was stuck. Oh. And we're both standing on the edge of this boat, and we're pulling it so hard, and then it gave, and we were in the drink, and we almost sunk the boat. So when the anchor gave way, so that was probably not a one that got away, but that was kind of one of the funniest. I think you probably had to be there. I mean, if someone saw that, they must have just thought it was the most ridiculous thing they've ever seen. So yeah, that one certainly springs to mind. I'm sure there's lots more.
Oh, everyone's always got some something like that goes on, and you look back and you say, oh, we were pretty lucky, and that was pretty funny.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no one got hurt. It was good.
All right, Paul. Thanks for answering those questions, those general questions. We're going to get into the specifics now. We want to hear about your background in fishing and boating, and where did this idea for the business come from?
Well, so there's two of us. So Captain Boat Safety is run by, there's two of us who are co-founders, myself and a guy called Chris Plummer. And we were both studying, doing our MBA, Masters of Business Administration at the University of Adelaide. And we just randomly met. We were doing this subject. It was actually called the E-Challenge, which is like a Shark Tank kind of thing, which is part of the university. So you've got to go up and they say, you've got to present your business to all these like pretty, some of these guys are worth $500 million. So it was pretty daunting thing. And we didn't have a business. And so they said, well, you've got to come up with a business idea. And so Chris and I went to a little cafe and we're like, okay, well, what do we got to do? And we both, I didn't even know, but we just got talking because I'd only met Chris a couple of months before. And he said that he just loved catching crayfish off Victor. And he actually dives for them.
Yep.
And so we got talking and then we really just decided, okay, well, if we're going to do something, why don't we do something that we really both love and we're both into? And that was how Boat Safety, Captain Boat Safety was born, really. It was a couple of blokes who had to make up a business for a university subject, basically.
Did you get a good grade for it or what?
Well, we actually won a big award.
Oh, wow.
For the business, and the grades are pretty good. We won. It was called the E-Challenge at the University of Adelaide, and we won. We got first prize.
Yeah,
so they gave us a fair bit of cash to get us up and running, and 6 months later, here we are.
And was it always the plan to actually turn it into a business, or you just sort of one thing led to another, and here we are?
Well, it's funny. Like we were doing an MBA because we were looking for, a career like change of direction, and we've kind of stumbled across this business that we, one, love, and two, we really believe in, and it's something that we're really passionate about. Is actually boat safety. The more we look into it, and the more we realise people actually don't probably take boat safety as seriously as they perhaps should. And it's something that we really believe in, and that's why we've decided that we're going to pursue this really seriously, and that's what we're doing.
Absolutely, mate, and that's a good segue. So talk us through the business. You have we've seen you online. It's a fantastic concept. It's basically taking the thinking out of you needing to do what we like to pride ourselves on doing, and going through our boat and making sure that all of our safety equipment's up to scratch. But you take the thinking out of that. Is that fair to say?
That is exactly what it is. I mean, part of our course, we had to do some research, and in our research that we undertook, essentially, we realised that most people aren't like you guys, where most people actually don't want to think about. A lot of people don't want to think about their boat safety. We looked through a lot of the data. 50% of people aren't compliant whenever they get checked. 5,000 fines at the boat ramps last year in South Australia alone.
Wow.
So most people aren't like you guys and aren't that diligent. And so we did a lot of research, and we came up with this subscription offering. So we have two kits where we give everyone, if they don't know what they're doing, we can give them a kit with all of the safety gear they need. We also have another kit with all of the safety gear that needs to be replenished. And then on top of that, we have this subscription where you pay $139 a year, and you never have to think about boat safety ever again. So what that does is when your marine distress flares go out of date, just get sent new distress flares. When your fire extinguisher is probably going to start getting big old, but they also need servicing, and you don't want to keep them for too long, we just send you a new one. The new rules with the life jackets have all changed, so you need to have your life jacket serviced. At the moment, they're actually talking about making it every year. So you need to service your life jacket. So we have this subscription where you pay $140 a year, and you never have to think about it again, and you never have to buy a piece of safety equipment ever again. And the beauty about what we do as well, and this is our point of difference, is we've found a way to send marine distress flares direct to customer. So that's our big advantage, is that we can put everything in one kit.
Yeah.
So marine distress flares, everything, and we can send it directly to your door. That's something that no one else in Australia, we're pretty sure no one else in the world has managed to crack that code.
Yeah.
And through our course through the University of Adelaide, we've managed to crack that code. There's been a lot of work that's gone into that. And that is a really big thing for people. And the rules are constantly changing, guys. So you guys are pretty diligent, but it'd be interesting to see. I might even fire a few questions at you guys, but to see how good you are with your safety. But the rules are constantly changing, and even people that are diligent don't really are unable to keep up with all the rules. And what we do is we specialise now in boat safety, keeping up with the rules, and making sure you've got all your gear.
Yeah.
Keeping in mind that a fine is $192 minimum.
We do a bit of an audit on our safety gear and make sure things are in date and working at the start of the summer. But you still have a nervous moment when the marine blokes come up and have a look, don't you? You still think, oh shit, have I got this? Have I got that? Have I got the bucket? Have I got this? Yeah, so it would be nice to just say, look, I never have to think about it again.
Well, what we want people to do when we thought about this the first time is we just wanted to hand people a kit. So we've got a dry bag. So everything apart from your paddles, which we also give you, and we're trying to develop now a bag where you can attach the paddles too. But everything that you need will fit in the kit. And when the marine safety officer comes, just hand him your dry bag with everything in it, and away you go. You never have to worry about it again.
See, I normally, when they come and have a look, I normally try and earn bonus brownie points for all the bonus items I've got. We're not going that far, but we got this and we got these extra flares and we've got that. Does that give me some bonus points?
Yeah, well, it might, but don't keep those out-of-date distress flares. A lot of people keep their expired distress flares in their boat. That's an offence.
Is it?
So don't do that.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Don't do that. But
we got caught out, Paul, because our boat has a capacity, I think, of 120 litres.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll
and
get you.
So, our fire extinguisher, we didn't have the boat full at the time, of course, because we'd just come in from a day out. But, Yeah, that was one thing that caught us off guard, but I noticed that on your website. You're all over that, less than 115 litres. So you're right. You're right about the rules, though. I mean, having somebody stay on top of these changes is important because, we're all busy doing our day-to-day lives and we're lucky to sort of get out when we can. And if we do have something like this to take away the thinking, nothing worse, like you say, getting the end of a good day's fishing and ruins it because you haven't got the right kit for the marine officers there.
Well, but have you guys ever been checked when you're on the water?
We've been checked quite a bit at the boat ramp coming back in. I'm not sure we've been checked by fisheries out fishing. We've never had a safety check out at sea, no.
So all marine safety officers can check your safety gear, and police on the water can also check your safety gear. And if you're on the water, let's say you're on a hot whiting spot and someone comes along and checks your gear and you don't have it all, you're going back to the ramp.
Yeah.
I've heard it's interesting now being involved in this and speaking to people and hearing the stories. It's funny how people aren't so worried about the fines. They're worried about being somewhere where they can't go fishing or missing out on the fish. So, and getting back to your point on the 2 litre fire extinguisher, but just remember as well that you can't have 2 1 litre fire extinguisher. It needs to be 1 2 litre fire extinguisher.
Yeah. No, sounds like you're all over it, Paul. Can you tell us some of the common mistakes or things people are missing?
The big one is the marine distress flare is out of date. I mean, everyone I think knows that.
Yeah.
And the other common one you talked about, and I got done for this. So, this must have been about 5 years ago on my boat because I've got a 120 litre fuel tank as well. But the marine safety officer was a good bloke. He let me off with a warning. But the one is with life jacket servicing. So there was they introduced the laws. It was about 3 years ago in South Australia where they mandated that everyone, your life jackets. Everyone below 4.8 meters had to wear a life jacket on board.
Yeah.
But also that life jackets, the big one. This is the big one, that life jackets need to be serviced. Now they say life jackets need to be serviced based on the manufacturer's recommendations. Most of them are 1 year. I know the Marlin ones that we sell are 1 year. Some are 2. But I think also based on our research and talking to a number of people, I think in South Australia anyway, they may be introducing where they're just going to make it the same across the board where everyone's going to have to service every year. So marine life jacket servicing is a big one. And so let's say you've got 4 people on board and each of them has an unserviced life jacket. That's going to be 4 separate fines for all 4 of those life jackets. So one thing I would tell your listeners is make sure you're servicing your life jackets on a regular basis.
Yeah, and that's interesting you say about the life jackets being now mandatory for any boat under 4.8 metres. At the time when that rule came in, we had a 4.2 metre boat, I think, didn't we, Diz?
Yeah.
And that was something we were just in such a habit of not wearing life jackets when it was in safe waters that we never got in any trouble for it, but we kept going out and getting half an hour into the trip and saying, whoops, should have had them on.
Yeah, no, it is.
We're in a habit of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think over time we're all just going to get used to wearing them. And it's funny, there's a number of states, and I think the difficulty with, it's not, there's South Australia, but every state in Australia's got different rules. And I think that causes problems. If you look at America, the US Coast Guard has all the rules, and it's pretty much all the rules are the same across the board, and they've got a lot more states than we do. Whereas here, it's really challenging. If you're someone who's come from interstate to live here or to fish here, or if you're a South Australian going interstate, the rules change. And that's another thing that we also offer, and part of our service is that if you're going interstate, we'll make sure you're covered based on all of the rules when you're going interstate. So, for example, in Western Australia, if you're going, and I think Victoria's the same, if you're going over 3 nautical miles out to sea, you also need the 2 parachute flares. So that's another one. And the misconception as well as here in South Australia is your marine distress flares, you only need the inshore kit up to 10 nautical miles, which is 18.5 kilometres. So everyone thinks that if you're going over, not everyone, but a lot of people think if you're going over 2 nautical miles, you need the parachute flares, but you don't. It's 10 nautical miles.
And that's a pretty long way for a lot of fishers, really.
Well, I go a fair way out. I don't go massively, not going 30 Ks out, but, 8.5 Ks is a long way to chase the tuna. I'm not going any further than that, that's for sure. Another
question we've got for you, Paul. We've both got young 9, 10-month-old babies. What's the go with kids wearing life jackets? What's the ruling on that?
Yeah, good question. One thing that you cannot do if you're under, so it's 12 or under 13. You know the and it makes sense, this rule, but you know the pull cord inflatable life jackets.
Yeah.
So if you're 12 or under, you cannot wear the pull cord portable life jackets.
Yeah.
Either you can wear the just the foam ones, or you can have the automatic inflatable ones. But just also make sure that they're with kids. They have to be, if you're in semi-protected or unprotected waters, they have to be a level 100 life jacket as well.
Yeah.
For kids. So some people think in semi-protected waters it's 50, but it's not. It's 100. So you have to make sure you get the right life jacket for kids if you're going a little bit out to sea.
And I think you touched on this earlier. It's probably a good habit to teach your kids and, get into that sort of behaviour of wearing life jackets and being safe around the water. I mean, one thing I find quite is I've got a Stormy life jacket. So in winter, it's great. I'm always wearing the Stormy. I love it as a jacket. Yeah. It's great. Yep. But come summer, when you get a 30-degree day, the last thing I want to be putting on is my Stormy. So then you sort of get caught out with those types of things. So making sure that you're across all of these rules and having different options is really important.
Yeah, and I just wonder if they should, I mean, everyone would probably hate me for saying this, but having one rule for less than 4.8 metres and one rule for above 4.8 metres, I think it might cause a bit of confusion. But the other confusion there is if you're by yourself on a boat, you have to wear a life jacket at all times.
Yeah.
If you're going out after dark or in inclement weather. So if there's stormy weather, if you're going out, you have to wear your life jacket now.
Yeah.
How they're going to judge what stormy weather, I'm not sure, but
yeah, exactly right. It's a bit of a grey area, isn't it? But I suppose
it certainly is.
For your own safety, you're better to be safe than sorry, aren't you?
Well, 50 people die every year on the water in Australia, and the most common reason is for inadequate safety equipment.
Yeah.
Most often, life jackets.
Yeah.
So these things happen. We read about them and hear about it, and sometimes you don't even hear about the people that die; they just disappear.
Yeah.
So I love boating, and the other thing that I think people need to remember is if you and you guys would know this because it sounds like you're across your life jackets, but it gives you the confidence to go further, to do more.
Yeah.
If you've got your safety gear, if you've got your marine radio license, if you've got all the life jackets, if you've got inbuilt flotation in your boat, all of those things are just going to give you the confidence to just have such a good experience on the water, and maybe you'll go a little bit further next time and experience that thing that you probably didn't before because you didn't have the confidence because you didn't have all the kit, or you weren't sure if you had all the kit. I think that's a really big thing that gets lost a little bit is if you got the right safety gear, I think you have a much better experience on the boat.
No, you're right about that, Paul. We're nearly done. We've got one or two more questions. I want to know, I know the business is only pretty fresh, but have you had any stories yet of your gear saving someone?
Not yet, no.
Nah.
Not yet, but that's where we're looking for. We've really only gone live we went live at the Adelaide Boat Show, so that was only a few weeks ago. But I think the first stories we'll get are the people that have been saved a fine. With the marine safety officers. And actually, one interesting one, and I know that you've got a couple more questions, but people often ask me about a bailing bucket and a fire bucket. So in South Australia, they are one and the same. If you you don't need a metal fire bucket. If you have a bucket that's got a lanyard attached to it, that doubles as both the fire bucket and the bailer.
Yeah.
So we also, in our kits, we offer the foldable buckets.
Yeah,
so we have the folding buckets, just put it in just under the gunnel there. And they're a really great thing. They actually work really well.
Yeah.
And they're just really great for storage. And let's say you forget your bucket and this, you just leave in the boat.
Yeah.
Marine safety officer comes and there's your and it fits in your little dry bag that we give you as well.
Perfect. All right, Paul, the last thing we want to know is what's next. Are you going to grow, you want to do interstate, or what do you want to do next?
So interstate is going to be happening in the first quarter of next year.
Yeah.
But then our big goal is to get into the American market. We're looking at there's 2.8 million boats in Florida, and I think there's 3.6 in California. So to give you an idea, there's 1.1 million boats in Australia.
Yeah.
60,000 in South Australia. Yeah. So early next year, looking at getting into into the national market, and then probably the beginning of 2024 is when would really like to step into the international market.
Yeah, wow. Well, you certainly got some goals, and that sounds like you're onto a winner to me.
Well, we really believe in it, mate, and we're really passionate about safety. And if we can, like you say, if we can save some people some fines, or God forbid, save someone's life, that would be a win in itself.
Absolutely, Paul. Now, before we let you go, best place to find and purchase is the website, I believe. Jump on to captainsboatsafety.com.au. Is that where we find it?
Captainsafety.com.au. You'll see us on all the socials. We are a fully online business because we don't need you to come in and get anything. We are your one-stop shop. You don't need to get off the couch to buy any of your safety gear. We can send everything, including distress flares, directly to your door, and then you subscribe and you never have to think about it again.
Fantastic, Paul. You've been very generous with your time. Thank you very much for coming on and sharing your knowledge. Certainly a very knowledgeable person when it comes to everything safety related. And we love the business. We love what you're doing. And thanks very much for coming on the show.
No, thanks for having me on, guys. Really enjoyed it.
Good to have Paul on the show, Rhodey. Really knowledgeable person around all things boating safety.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool story, isn't it, Diz? How he sort of, stumbled upon it in a uni assignment. It's cool.
Yeah, no, it is very good and clearly very passionate, which is what you want when you're talking safety.
And it's a bloody good idea.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Particularly we probably didn't talk about it a lot, but the rules change. We did. We talked about the 4.8 metre now rule about the boats, and inevitably in the next 2 or 3 years the rules will change again.
Yeah.
And if you've got someone that takes that responsibility out of your hands, it's a win.
Yeah, and I think his point as well around marine safety officers come up and you go, you know what? Here you go. Here's everything.
Yeah.
And you're laughing.
Yeah.
That is really good peace of mind. And, I do often think when it comes to safety, you want that stuff at your fingertips.
Yeah.
You want to have it in one spot. And we've tried to do that on our boat so that you can kind of be like, right, bang, I'm going there.
Tub, yeah. But the dry bag's a good idea too.
Yeah, it is. It is. Rhodey, let's move on to the report before we wrap up today's episode. There has been some great reports of Port Augusta Kingies.
Yeah, they went quiet for a little bit and they seem to be back.
Well, I think it was last episode we said, geez, the reports of Kingies have slowed down.
And ever since then, was it last weekend? The weather was hot and they seemed to be going.
Yeah, they went bang.
I saw Tom Cleary from the Power got one.
Yeah.
And one of our former guest, Jai, from the Junior Anglers program.
Yeah,
did you see him? He shared
the
a number of photos. He got a little rat one. Yeah. And then he upgraded to a bigger one, but only got half of it in. The tax man took half.
Yeah.
And eventually him and his old man got the big one.
Yeah. No, it was it was good to see Jai's photos up there, and he he had his grassroots fishing with reeling in junior anglers.
Yeah. And you can imagine his frustration. He would have wanted to catch a big one when he caught a small one, and then he caught a half of one, and then eventually he cracked the big one. So good on him.
Yeah, very good. No, well, certainly would have made it worth the while for those who trekked over to Port Augusta to chase a kingy.
Yeah, there's still plenty there, so get into them.
Absolutely. Rhodey, let's talk tuna.
They've got to be close, Diz, and I am hearing they've hit the Yorke Peninsula, Port Lincoln area.
Goodness gracious me.
Heard that a couple of times now.
Yeah. We're just waiting with bated breath.
It is that time of year where people aren't that keen to put their photos up.
No.
Isn't it?
No.
Even over at Lincoln, I haven't seen too many.
Anyone who's getting them now is not, with any brains, is not posting on the socials.
So they can't be far away. If they've hit Port Lincoln, you'd think they're pretty close to sort of the local Yorke Peninsula, Victor Harbour areas. Hoping they turn up on the north coast of KI in the next week or so. That'd make my day.
Yeah, you'd be loving that.
And hopefully that house we're staying at, remember we've seen them like swimming out the front?
Yeah, I know.
You can sit on the deck, have the boat sitting on the beach ready to go.
Yeah.
See a bit of a ripple of 500 metres out, boat straight in.
Drop it in, bang. Yeah, perfect. All right, Rhodey, what else is biting?
Plenty of squid all over the place.
Yeah, good numbers of squid. Bit of sort of nicer weather probably helps with that, water clarity and the likes.
Yeah.
Dan's famous pickled squid recipe he posted just a few days ago.
Did you give that to your old man? Davo likes some pickled squid.
Probably not enough garlic for Davo.
And he'd have a pretty serious recipe himself. He's not one to sort of take advice.
I love the simplicity of Dan's recipe.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good one.
Yeah. Very good. Good catches of squid, always good chewing. Rhodey, garfish. I've seen some great reports of gar. I think they just love a bit of warmer weather as well.
And I've seen pretty good land-based garfish too.
Yeah, and some good size ones.
Yeah. So certainly from here on, they should be around the place. And
Garfish bruschetta.
yes, that's a iFish special, isn't it?
I think so.
There's nothing. Garfish actually, well, I think people rate them, but they're very good eating. I was going to say they're underrated, but people probably rate them as.
Oh, they're rated. I don't know. A lot of people do target them.
Yeah, we probably don't, do we?
No, we probably
We're
don't.
probably more dabbers.
Yeah, I just the thrill of dabbing them for them is always good. Problem is I think a tinny's far better to dab for them. You've got a bit of a versatile boat. You can sort of, weave around, dart around them a bit.
Mind you, over on KI might be all right when there's no other moorings or boats around.
Yeah, and, it's probably, a larger abundance of them.
Yeah, but we haven't done it in a while, but some of those really hot summer days on the boat where you can get a bit of a slick going and really get into them, they are good fun on rod and reel too.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you get some bigger ones. Righto, Rhodey, very short, sharp and shiny report. We just plucked some highlights there, I think.
Yes, Diz, we did, and they were good highlights.
Let's get into the socials just before we finalise with, of course, the tackle item of the week, Rhodey. A bit of pipeline stuff here, obviously.
Yeah, we're just in the process of getting together another Christmas competition, Diz.
Ooh, yeah, you heard it here first.
So that will be not too far away, and we already have some good gear from Savage Tackle. We got caps and beanies.
Yeah, there's going to be some good prizes. We're just sort of dotting our I's and crossing our T's, but there's going to be some real good prizes.
So keep your eye out for that, guys.
Righto, Rhodey. Let's wrap up today's episode with tackle item of the week. I'm going to let you handle the reins on this one. Certainly a more experienced person to be talking about this tackle item.
Yes, Diz. We have talked about KI a little bit here, but I nipped into Marston, into Diving Adelaide during the week, and I picked myself up a new set of dive gloves, Diz, because mine, I don't know if you saw mine, but they had holes. My hands barely fit in them. They were so small. The rubber was going all funky. So
just a bit old, you reckon, or they were never fitted properly?
Oh, they were tight from the get-go, but maybe my hands got bigger. I don't know. But I've picked myself up the Apollo K2 Kevlar commercial dive gloves, Diz. I'm holding them here. They're 3 millimeters thickness, so that's going to keep me warm.
Okay.
Nicely sort of stitched together. They look very sturdy. They fit me much better than the last ones.
So what did the dive shop people have to say about them? They the Rolls Royce?
Yeah, they had some tear-resistant ones, and they pretty much said, look, they're $20, but you'll be back getting some more. These are Kevlar. They'll do the job.
How much did they set you back?
Oh, I think it was about $70.
Ooh.
So they're
expensive gloves.
They're not cheap, but do you want to buy 6 pairs for $20 or do you want to buy 1 pair for $70?
Well, it depends how often you want to visit the dive shop, I suppose.
And I'll tell you right now, I haven't worn them in the water yet, but I've had them on around the house and they're pretty comfortable.
I can just imagine you practicing your snare as well.
Yeah, I snare Lucy and Lou when they're not looking. Just get their leg.
Oh, good. Yeah, do us a favour and bring back some crays for us, will you?
And they're sharp buggers, crayfish, so you want to look after your hands.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah, you don't see too many people going in there bareback with no gloves on,
Oh,
do you?
no, I couldn't think of any worse. They're spiky as hell.
Very good. All right, excellent episode, Rhodey. Great to hear from Paul. Very knowledgeable person. Get onto their website, captainsafety.com.au, and check them out. But, good to catch up with you, Rhodey.
Yeah, Diz, always a pleasure. Episode 69 in the book. We'll see you in a couple of weeks with plenty of stories from our KI adventures.
Coming in hot, episode 70.
See you guys.
See ya.
Rhodey and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram. And you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.